Hi there, Amy here from Knit Collage, and I'm so excited to tell you all about our 2025 Winter Solstice Kits in this video. So if you're wondering what is a Winter Solstice Kit or a Winter Solstice box, let me fill you in. You can think of it as a surprise countdown calendar that you open over the course of December. So it's a yarn countdown calendar where each skein or mini skein is wrapped up, artfully wrapped up and artfully hand spun for you. And then it's a surprise. So you open it however you want to open it over the course of the month of December. So I think this will be our 4th year doing it. And we have some really cool, different new things that we have added into the mix this year that I'm excited to share with you. All right, so I guess the only other thing I would add to that is that the whole box is really intended to bring a bunch of joy, a lot of joy into an already hectic, crazy month with the holidays and I don't know, maybe lots of things that you're going to, stress, whatever it might be. It's just intended to be a form of happy self-care that brightens up an already crazy time. So that's what the Winter Solstice Kits are. We have them available in 3 different colorways, and I'm going to go into what those colorways are all about in just a second, and then 2 different sizes. So you can go with the mini skein size or the full skein size. And all of these yarns are pre-order. So they are custom made for you. You pre-order it. I think it's in about a week in mid-June, and then we ship it out mid to late November for you to open over the course or whenever you like in December. So this is the only time of year that we create something that's custom spun for you. And it's like its own little capsule collection. So when I design yarn, I'm not necessarily thinking about every single yarn color in that collection and having them all work really well together. But with our Winter Solstice Kits, that's exactly what I do. I'm thinking about creating this beautiful little capsule collection that works perfectly together in its own little bubble, you could say. So that's what our Winter Solstice Kit is. It has become something really special here that we do at Knit Collage because it is all custom hand spun for you. So we've got one extra new element that I want to talk to you about before we dive into what all the colorways are like. So this time around, I have added a bag into each kit. And this bag, I have been working on both of these bags for 2 years. It's been 2 years in the making. I've been trying to get this fabric. The fabric that the bag is in is, both bags are it's just incredible. We are finally able to get it, and it will be included in these kits. So if you go with the mini skein version of the Winter Solstice Kit in any color, you're going to get a small pouch. The measurements are 9 by 4.5. So you could store pencils, crochet hooks, notions, stitch markers, anything like that in there. I use it for all of that. And then for the full skein Winter Solstice Kit, you are going to get a large project tote. Now you could of course use this as a regular bag, or you can use it to carry a sweater quantities worth of yarn. So that is, let's see, it's 21 across and 18 high and a really cool strap. So 2 years I've been working on these, and these are going in to every single kit, and which one you get depends on which size Winter Solstice Kit you order. Okay, so let's hop to the 3 different colorways that we have coming this year. So I spent a lot of time getting feedback from our Creative Knitters membership about what they wanted to see in the yarns. And I also spent a lot of time reflecting on what we hadn't done before, colors, textures, trims that I really liked. And typically I design these yarns on a trip to India, which I did not take this past May. And the reason I didn't take it is because at that time there were political tensions between Pakistan and India, and it was just unsafe to go. Where we make our yarn is fairly close to the Pakistani border. Monica, who runs everything there, said, Amy, don't come. So I decided not to come, of course. And since then, thankfully, everyone is safe. The tensions have died down. There's a ceasefire and it's all tentatively good and safe there. But I did not get to go to India and design these. And it ended up being this wonderful blessing in disguise because it forced me to really think outside the box and get back to how I designed yarns during COVID days when I didn't travel for 3 years and I just worked from here. And there's something about that that is really nice. When I go there, it's sort of this whirlwind of a trip. I don't leave our studio a lot. I'm really there designing yarns with our team there. And it's very intense. It's amazing. But I'm not thinking about new components, new spins, basically new textures, new trims. Really, that's the thing. So this time around, I got every single thing that I could possibly muster up, spread it all around my office, down my hallway, down to the entranceway where our stairs are. And I laid out every single fiber color, every single sparkle color, every single trim. And I got in the weeds and really designed these capsule collections, 3 capsule collections, 36 yarns in total that I designed that are so incredibly special. So each collection is going to have 12 yarns, and you can go with the smaller mini skein version or the full skein version. And 6 of them are going to be similar to a yarn we did a long time ago for Knit Stars, which is called Star Spun. So it's not going to be the Star Spun colors. It's going to be all new colors, but it is a beautiful plied yarn. It is a bit thinner than our other yarns, but not a ton thinner. I wanted to go thinner. I've gotten asked for this. But I also really want to stay true to our roots and what we do really well, which is bulkier weight yarns and yarns with a lot of trims and fun things in them and colors and textures. So you're going to have the Star Spun yarns for 6 of the skeins and a trim filled yarn for the other 6 within each of these kits. So it'll alternate between each of those. So all of these are going to be numbered so you can open them in order if you want, 1 through 12, or you can decide to open them all at once. You can go back to front, start at 12, end at 1. It's really up to you. But they will all go in order and they will all be a gradient. So they're going to work in a circular gradient, just like what we did last fall or last winter. And the reason I decided to do this again is because it's sort of back to that idea of creating this capsule collection. It's something I can't do in the normal yarns that we sell, but I can do it here. So the yarn skein that's number 1 is going to flow perfectly into number 2, then number 3, all the way up to number 12, and number 12 will flow perfectly into number 1. So you can decide in your project where you want to start and how you want these to flow together. This time around, it's going to be a bit more colorful, which is fun, but it will still work in a gradient. So that's what's in store. So you'll have the 6 Star Spun and then 6 trim-filled yarns. Going to be a little bit similar to Daisy Chain, but different trims. That's all I can tell you because the rest has to be a surprise. Monica, who runs everything over there, has spent a lot of time in the trim market and found some amazing new trims that I cannot wait to share with you. These are all new, never used before. I doubt we'll use again because this is a limited edition one-time thing. So that's that. All right, let's hop to the different colorways. So let's start with the first one. The first one is kind of funny. Well, it's called Fall Florals or Antler. And I'm going to show you this antler that I bought at a store in Colorado. It is covered in fiber and paint, and I really fell in love with the color palette, and it inspired a painting. I paint a lot with my toddler. So this was just me messing around with some watercolor paints one weekend morning, and I really loved it. And someone in Creative Knitters said, make that a color palette. And it was like, oh yeah, duh. So what I love about this and what you can expect to see in this yarn collection is some dusty pinks, some dusty ochre mustard colors. a fair amount of green and deep teal. That's going to be a big component to it, and a teeny bit of copper and brown. So this is the inspiration, and I do have a Pinterest board that is going to give you more insights into what exactly you can expect there, but it's going to have a fall floral feeling. So I think of like dahlias in the fall and dahlia colors. So it's sort of like all those beautiful fall bloom colors. So that's the inspiration for the fall florals, and I'm calling it antler because it's just funny and it's inspired by this. I love this. I love these colors so much. So that's that. Now I'll link to the Pinterest board here so you can get a much better idea of what's happening there. But the whole idea is that this is a surprise. This is a surprise for all of you. So there's a little bit of fun in that too. Okay, moving right along to the second one. I wanted to do something very different than what we've done before. And this one is called Vintage Romance. And it's inspired actually by the name of a Hohi Locatelli sweater that I found out about just a couple weeks ago. And I believe that is called Old Romance or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but it is inspired by that. And it just has this beautiful lace inset down the sleeve. And it made me think about crochet doilies, like old crochet doilies and lace and vintage books and all that conjures up. So this is what that collection is about. There's going to be some ivory, some tea, some little hints of copper, pale pink, but for the most part, it's going to be neutral. Little bit of soft green. There is going to be hints of sparkle, but it's going to be more like a bronze, or kind of like almost like a worn-in silvery feeling to them. So it's going to feel a little bit vintage antique. So it's going to have this old world feeling to it, but it is more for the neutral lovers versus the color lovers. And oh my gosh, if you ask me my favorite, I don't know. That's going to be hard. I really love this color palette because this feels different for us. But I am so feeling those neutrals, and as evidenced probably by what I'm wearing, it kind of has the feeling of this vintage romance. Definitely check out the Pinterest board for it though. Okay, so the next one is called Handmade Studio 54. So what does that conjure up for you? So I wanted to do one that felt really true to our roots, a little more jewel tony, but still a lot of fun and sparkle at the same time with these handmade elements. So I've been working on this pair of jeans that incorporates basically every trim and every patch I've ever collected in the last 20 years. And it has this very handmade feel, but still a little bit disco. There's some sparkle. Yeah, there's some mirror trims. It's really fun, and it just has a lot going on. So this is what that is going to feel like, but still so a little bit disco, a little bit Studio 54, but also a handmade feel that feels very knit collage, that feels very us. So think about some of the crochet flowers that we've done. I'm not going to say it's going to be exactly that, but there's going to be handmade elements in the yarn that's not going to make it feel slick or overly disco. It's going to have this handmade element to it. And I think the board does a really good job of summing this up. So definitely check out that board. Now, this is the one I think in the full skein version, you could create something just absolutely incredible with these. So would love to see that. All right. I mean, you could with all of them, but I think this would be like a real Technicolor coat situation. So those are the three colorways. I'll definitely link to the Pinterest boards below. I'm also going to link to the needle details. These yarns will knit up on a size, I would say it's like an 11 to a 15 needle. So it's a little smaller than what we normally do, but not a ton smaller. And I'll link to the yardage, the needle details, rough content of the yarn, and I will link to the Pinterest boards. Okay, so that's it. The only other thing I want to mention about these before we go part company is that as part of the Winter Solstice Kits, when you order a kit, you also get access to our challenge. So we host a knitting challenge, which is just another word for a mini knit along that we host January 1 through January 10. So if you spend the month of December opening up your beautiful surprise gifts of yarn, you can come along and knit with us. And we are going to include with your kit a surprise accessory pattern that we will knit together. You can knit it on your own, or you can join in this challenge and knit it with us over the course of the first 10 days of January. And with that comes the community and an online course where I teach you how to make that from start to finish. So if you're newer at knitting, you could hop on, get my video course that will go along with the patterns for these yarns and be good to go. And that will be for the mini skein version. So that will work for the mini skein version. The accessory, I can't tell you what it is. It's going to be a complete surprise. So that's part of it, but we're going to have a lot of fun knitting that up together. This will be the third time we've done it, and it's just a wonderful way to kick off the year and get your knitting mojo going early with a quick win early in the year. Okay, so I think that's everything. The only other thing I'll mention is that we are doing a custom wrapping paper for these kits. So just expect that. It's going to be beautiful, as well as the bags, which we've never done before. Who knows if we'll do them again, but I'm so excited about them. All right, so we are going live with these on Wednesday, June 11th at 10 a.m. And the last day to order will be the 18th. So we're going to keep it open for a week. And then we need to get to work and start spinning all this yarn to make sure that we have it in time for you in November. So the only thing I want to say here is I want to encourage you to order early. I know that we have a capacity we can make with the materials we have in-house, and if we hit that number early, we will just shut down the ordering early, and just hop to it, because there's only so many we can make given the size of our team in India to be able to get it to you in time to unwrap for December. So think about that. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. The other thing I'm going to link to are all the price details. So we will link to the needles, the yardage details, and the price details, as well as the Pinterest boards in the blog post below, in the comments below, the comment section. So I think that's everything. If you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. I think one of the ones I get asked a lot is, can I do this if I'm an international person? You absolutely can. We ship those out earlier, so definitely you can do that. And then the other one I get is, are you going to give me other pattern ideas if I'm a crocheter, if I'm working with the full skein kit? So right now, our plan is to create Pinterest boards for those. So if you're a crocheter, you'll have a Pinterest board full of pattern ideas, and the same will go for the full skein version. There's an outside chance I design a pattern for the full skein version. I'm very excited about that possibility. But we'll see how much time I have to make it all happen, given everything else going on in the business. But I'm going to try my best. So that's everything. Please let me know if you have any questions. I am so excited about these. I really tried to take into account all of the feedback, the amazing feedback we got from our members, and put it all into work. So I would love to answer questions. I can't wait to bring these to life. They're going to be amazing. And I hope to see you in the challenge come next January. All right. Have an awesome day.